Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. In this lesson, we will discuss about the ideal gas law. The ideal gas law is the most important gas law for you to know and learn. The ideal gas law combines the laws that you learned from the previous topic. First of all, we have to know what is an ideal gas. The concept of ideal gas were created as an approximation to help us to predict the behavior of real gases. The ideal gas follow a few rules such as: first, ideal gas molecules do not attract or repel each other. That means the only interaction between ideal gas molecules is collisions with each other and the walls of the container. The second rule is ideal gas molecules not take up volume. That means we know that the real gas will take up the volume because the particles of the gas will expand into a large region of space. But the ideal gas particles are assumed to be point masses. That means the particles have a mass but occupy no volume, and there are no attractive or repulsive forces at all between the particles. In our real life, there are no gases that exactly an ideal gas. Okay, we have to notice it. But plenty of gases are close to the concept of an ideal gas. For example, in the condition of pressure near the atmospheric pressure and the temperature near the room temperature, many of the gases that we know are very nearly ideal. Okay? So, now we go back to the gas law that we have learned in the previous topic. Okay? And do you still remember the gas law that we have learned before? Here we will highlight 3 gas law, okay, which is Boyle's law, Charles' law and Avogadro's law. As you can see in the table, for Boyle's law, the pressure of an ideal gas is inversely proportional to the volume it occupies. If the moles of gas, here, mole of gas and the temperature are constant. That means the increase of pressure of the gas will decrease in gas volume, and the increasing of volume of the gas will decrease the gas pressure. It is the vice versa. Okay. For Charles' law, here For an ideal gas, the volume and temperature that described in Kelvin are directly proportional if the moles or number of moles and the pressure are constant. That means an increase in the temperature of the gas will increase the volume of the gas and vice versa. Okay, we can see for the Avogadro's law, the volumes and number of moles of the gas are directly proportional if the temperature and pressure are constant. Okay, and for Avogadro's law, when it increases the number of moles of the gas, it will increase the volume of the gas and vice versa. So from here, we can see the ideal gas law. For ideal gas law, you can see here, it can be rearranged in different ways to take the form of Boyle's law, Charles' law and Avogadro's law. For the Boyle's law, you can see here it is PV is equal to nRT and it is equal to K. And the constant is also temperature and the number of moles. Okay. The ideal gas law formula is equal to PV is equal to nRT. Okay, this is very important. Okay, you have to remember this one. PV is equal to nRT, which is P is pressure, V is volume, N is the number of moles, R is the gas constant, and T is temperature. Okay, you can see here for the Charles law, V over T is equal to nR over P. And for Avogadro's law, V over N is equal to RT over P. So we can rearrange the ideal gas law formula to take the form of Boyle's law, Charles' law and Avogadro's law. Okay, in PV is equal to nRT, R is the ideal gas law constant. Okay, and the unit of R is depend on the unit that we use for pressure, volume and temperature. Okay, so this is the numerical values for the gas constant in various units. Okay, you can see here we can use the this value. Okay, and it is depend on the pressure, temperature and volume. Okay, we have a lot of value for the gas constant. You can see here it is 8.314 and the unit is joule per mole per Kelvin. The value of 0.08206 and the unit is liter atm per mole per Kelvin. And another one is 8.314 liter kilopascal per mole per Kelvin. Okay, another one is 8.314 meter cube pascal per mole per Kelvin. Okay, another one is 8.2056 times 10 to the power of minus 5. Okay, the unit is meter cube atm per mole per Kelvin. And another one is 82.057 and the unit is cm cube atm per mole per Kelvin. So you can choose which one you want to use in the ideal gas formula. Okay? Okay. Let's we do some example. Okay? Okay. This is the example for the ideal gas law. This is the example for the ideal gas law. Okay? We can solve this one. Okay? Okay. Now let's try to solve this one. The question is, okay, how many moles of air are in the lungs of an average adult with a lung capacity of 3.8 liter? Assume that the person is at 1 atm pressure and has a normal body temperature of 37 degrees C. Okay, you can see here, we have the unit for volume is liter, right? Okay, the pressure is atm and the temperature is degrees Celsius. So, which one we want to use? So, we have the unit liter and atm, right? Okay, and we also have degree C. But degree Celsius, we can convert it to Kelvin. So, we choose this one. Okay, the gas constant, we choose the gas constant, this one. Okay, 0.08206 for gas constant. Okay, so now the question asks how many moles of air are in the lung. So we use the formula PV is equal to nRT. Okay, so we can calculate the moles of air in the lung. So we use the formula, okay, N is equal to PV over RT, okay, and we substitute all the data that we have inside the formula. P is 1 atm pressure, V is 3.8 liter, and R we choose 0.08206 liter atm per mole per Kelvin. And the temperature we have to convert it to Kelvin because we choose this R, okay, this gas constant. So we have to change or convert it to Kelvin. Okay. So after we convert it to Kelvin, okay, we will calculate it. We can calculate it, and this is the answer. Okay, so the lung of an average adult will hold 0.5 mole of air. Okay, this is how we calculate by using the formula of ideal gas law. Okay, that's all for this lesson. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.